Good day, students. Today we'll be discussing about the properties of region of convergence for Laplace transform. The first property is the region of convergence of x of s consists of strips parallel to the j omega axis in the s-plane. As we have seen, the s-plane contains the real part sigma and the imaginary part omega. Plotting a pole, for example, minus 2 plus j3 gives the real part of the pole as minus 2. Drawing a strip through the real part of this pole. This strip is parallel to the j omega axis, and this strip passing through the poles specify the region of or forms the boundary to specify the region of convergence. Property number 2. For rational Laplace transform, the ROC does not contain any poles. I repeat, a very important property, the ROC does not contain any poles, but it is bounded by poles or it extends to infinity. It means that at poles, the x of s value becomes infinite. That is, it is not absolutely integrable. To illustrate this, let us take the example x of s is equal to 1 by s plus 2. When we substitute the pole, we know that the pole is s is equal to minus 2. So, at the pole s equal to minus 2, the value of x of s becomes 1 divided by 0, which is infinite, and we can see that this x of s is not absolutely integrable at the pole. So this is what is illustrated by this property. The ROC does not contain any poles. It just binds the ROC regions and it acts as poles. Property number 3. If x of t is right-sided signal and its Laplace transform is rational, then the ROC in S-plane is to the right of the rightmost pole. The takeaway is, if x of t is a sum of right-sided signals, it might contain any number of right-sided signal, then the ROC will be to the right of the rightmost pole. Consider, for example, this signal x of t. So x of t here is a right-sided signal because you can see from the graph itself that towards the left side it decays to 0, whereas towards the right side the signal extends. Let us assume that this signal is approximately given as x of t equal to addition of 3 exponentials multiplied by u of t minus 5. So if we look at u of t minus 5, we can tell that this is a right-sided signal because when we plot this signal, it gives a right-sided alone. A shortcut is whenever you have positive value of t under u of t, then it's a right-sided signal. For such right-sided signal, if we assume that the poles are 1, minus 1 and minus 2, we can see that the rightmost pole among these three is pole s is equal to 1. Hence, as per the property, if the signal is a right-sided signal, it might contain any number of signals, and if they totally right-sided signal, then ROC will be to the right of the rightmost pole. That is, the ROC is real part of s greater than 1. Property number 4. If the given signal x of t is a left-sided signal, or if it is a sum of left-sided signals and its Laplace transform is rational, then the ROC is to the left of the leftmost pole. So let us consider this signal x of t. So we can see that this signal is a left-sided signal from the graphical point of view. It extends towards the left side and here it decays. Towards the left side it has values. Contribly, you can also look into the equation also. So into the equation, let us assume that it's an addition of 3 exponential signal, but is weighted by u of minus t plus 5. So it's u of minus t. So when it's minus t, it indicates that it's a left-sided signal. For this, if we take approximately the poles are 1, minus 1 and minus 2 for illustrative purposes, we can see that among these 3 poles, minus 2 will be the leftmost pole. And as per the property, if x of t is left-sided signal, then ROC is to the left side of leftmost pole. So minus 2 is the leftmost pole and left side of leftmost pole will be the ROC. So that is why the ROC is given as a real part of S lesser than minus 2. Property number 5. If the given signal x of t contains both right sided and left sided signals and its Laplace transform is rational, then the ROC in S plane is a strip lying between the extreme poles. I repeat, if the given signal is an addition of right sided and left sided, then the ROC is a strip lying between the extreme poles. Let us consider, for example, it's a signal which is both left sided as well as right sided. It's extending on both sides. So you can see that x of t equal to, let us just approximately assume that it contains an addition of left sided signals u of minus t and u of t, which is a right sided signal. So in that case you have sigma and j omega, and if we assume that the poles, just for illustration we are taking these poles, if these are going to be the poles, then identify the extreme poles. So the extreme poles are minus 2 and 1. So the ROC will be lying between the extreme poles. So the real part of S is greater than minus 2 and lesser than 1. So if the given signal has a left sided and right sided, then ROC will lie between the extreme poles. Property number 6. If x of t is of finite duration and is absolutely integrable, then the ROC is the entire S plane. I would like to make a small indication in the previous one. Here we need to assume that x of t does not decay to 0, but it just goes on extending till infinity. It is not finite, it just extends. And again here also you have to assume that it extends. In that case it will be taken as a left sided and a right sided signal. Returning back to property number 6. If x of t is finite duration and is absolutely integrable, then the ROC is the entire S plane. So let us illustrate this. Let us take, for example, a finite duration signal. So you can see that this is e power minus at. This signal exists only from t equal to 0 to t. If you try to find out the Laplace transform for this signal, you will be getting x of s as simply as t, capital T, which is nothing but the time duration. So here we see that you have only the numerator, whereas you don't have a denominator, meaning that there are no poles. When there are no poles, there is no boundary for the ROC, and hence we tell that the ROC is the entire S plane. So these are the fundamental properties of ROCs which you will be very frequently using in your problems. Thank you, students.